Business-to-business commerce covers a lot of ground, a whole world in fact. Buyers, suppliers, public and private sector, large companies and small companies, all are entities within the system. We all know there are other contributors too. There are AP clerks, professional buyers, cost center owners, reviewers, CPOs, CFOs, cash managers, controllers, the list goes on. B2B is a busy place. With such complexity built into B2B commerce, it makes sense that a company such as Basware would work to reduce and manage those complexities and provide a streamlined, collaborative experience. With Basware, companies will have a single place for all of their P2P and OTC documents. The interface itself is designed on global UX standards, including various ISO and WAI standards, as well as meeting cultural and contextual requirements. As complex as all that sounds, we backed up the theory with rigorous focus group testing conducted by Basware all over the world. This product is ergonomic, supports various handicaps, and is 100% keyboard enabled. One of the single most important concepts in the design is a role-based experience, where any user signs in, sees what they have the rights to see, accesses functionality that they require. Users can create requisitions, expense claims, and invoices. Those same users undoubtedly find themselves part of review and approval workflows. Here, the user can access all their tasks relating to invoices, requisitions, expense claims, contracts, or invoice plans. Although an AP clerk or professional buyer will have the odd expense claim and requisition to create, they will have a professional role within the process. Shifting from the personal to the professional mode, the tools, such as those required by an AP clerk, become available. As you can see here, all of the tools and functionality are available to the role as they need it, no matter who you are or where you are. It's truly amazing how connected all of the business-to-business commerce really is. For example, a typical employee makes many requisitions relating to their job within the organization. In this case, a Bluetooth headset is quickly found on the web shop front page, selected, and a requisition created and sent for approval. Less frequently ordered items can be searched for. This large screen monitor is part of a catalog. All catalogs are built by the catalog manager, validated and accepted by professional buyers before being made available through the web shop. Approved orders for Dell are automatically ordered once approved, and as the invoices from Dell are all electronic, they are received directly into Basware, matched and transferred for payment, all automatically. All of the potential for compound complexity within B2B commerce is made simple. Often, the requisitioner doesn't know exactly what they want, or the item isn't in the catalog. In these situations, a free text order is probably best. The requisitioner sorts by contract, finds the supplier, and is able to type a brief description of the product or services he or she requires. In this case, it's coffee and espresso to be delivered during a conference. Here the professional buyer scans his dashboard, looking at the tasks, impending orders, and other key pieces of information required to do his job. Clicking through to the requisitions, the buyer takes a closer look at the order we created earlier. Clearly, this requires input from the supplier. In the same way that we chat via the Office communicator, the Alusta platform includes a collaboration function that lets one user chat with another user based on any document or process. With this document-centric approach, resolutions are quickly arrived at and disputes easily managed. Whether the conversation is between a buyer and supplier or the AP clerk and a line manager, the dialogue is on the record and is automatically appended to the document history for future reference. easier than picking up the phone or writing an email, and much more transparent. Alusta Collaborate supports B2B's most basic processes by putting offline dialogue on the record where it belongs. After the buyer finishes his chat with the supplier, the order lines are added and the order is sent. Once the buyer clicks the order button, an e-order is automatically sent via Basware's B2B cloud services directly to the supplier. Now, the supplier can receive an e-order in a couple of different ways. They could receive it directly into their system, or for smaller suppliers, they could take advantage of the Basware Portal. The Supplier Portal gives the supplier a clear view of their orders and invoices. Without going into the supplier's order fulfillment process in detail, orders are confirmed and then invoices are sent. This supplier chose to flip the order into an invoice via the Supplier Portal. Invoices can be sent directly as e-invoices, as emails, via the virtual printer, or as a paper invoice that is scanned by our scan and capture service. As we've just seen, both buyers and suppliers have many options for both sending and receiving orders and invoices electronically. Some suppliers will continue to send paper invoices. However, if you happen to be one of the people who are unlucky enough to receive those invoices, well, I guess you'd be surprised if Basware didn't have a solution for you. Here is a local business manager whose business unit is geographically distant from its headquarters, but held together within the B2B cloud. For a decentralized work environment, CloudScan is the perfect choice. Download the software from the web, works with any printer. CloudScan lets you scan double-sided invoices, recognizes blank page separators, and is very easy to use. Bringing invoices in via the scanner or importing them in from a watch folder, CloudScan provides the basic tools required to enhance the images before sending them to the Basware capture service. I can delete unwanted pages like this, deskew images, and remove hole punch marks. CloudScan lets the user easily remove visual noise from the image or drag and drop pages from one invoice to another or create a new invoice. After I'm satisfied the images are as they should be, I click Send and the invoices are sent to Basware Capture Service where they get validated before being sent directly to your invoice processing system. What could be simpler? There are many different ways to be drawn into the P2P process. Some users have dashboards, and others, such as this local business manager, have widgets. What is a widget, you might ask? Well, it's something that makes your job that much easier. The widget sits on your desktop, provides visibility into your task list, and links directly to the Alusta platform. First, our local business manager will approve an expense claim, quickly viewing the lines before clicking Approve. Then shifting over to his invoice approval or review tasks, he fulfills more of the P2P process. Our manager finds issue with the first invoice and puts it on hold. The second invoice he can see doesn't relate to him, so he returns it to the accounts payable with a comment so the AP may know where to send it next. As we follow the process flow, an accounts payable clerk is brought into the picture. Similar to the professional buyer, the AP clerk has a dashboard that consolidates all the process-related data and some KPIs. All aspects of the dashboard allow the clerk to drill into the process. These invoices are in danger of default, so the AP clerk needs to take action. First, shift selecting, then writing a comment, the AP clerk can notify all 3 users of the potential for a late payment charge if these invoices are not approved on time. Having prompted the approvers to take action, the AP clerk shifts to other tasks. Ideally, the majority of invoices will be automatically processed by the system when they are matched against orders or contracts. Exceptions do occur, though, and when that happens, an invoice can be manually associated with an order or contract in order to get the correct posting and update the PO or contract data. This AP clerk just opened 2 tasks at once, and the system presents them according to their attributes. In the first case, we only have header-level data, and so the user is prompted to make the association between the invoice header to the order header. As you can see, the image is presented rather than the invoice lines, as there are none. Based on parameters, the system finds and presents the most likely open orders for the match. After the first match, the system gives us the second selected invoice. With this second example of manual matching, we can see that there is line-level data available. The system recognizes this and presents it first to the clerk for line-to-line matching. Additionally, the system prompts the clerk with error messages that guide the user to the correct actions. By selecting the invoice line and then the order line, the clerk makes the association, and the error message disappears. The AP clerk selects the next pair of lines for matching. The clerk can also hover over a tooltip to gain additional insight into the situation at hand. Clearly, this invoice line represents more cost than the order line, but it still has to be paid and the goods were received, so what to do? As the situation guides the user to perform the task with a mix of best practices and company policy, AP can relax. As the AP clerk continues to work, we shift to another role within the organization, that of the payment clerk. After sorting the invoices ready for payment, the payment clerk sorts and selects all those where the suppliers have agreed to early payment discount terms. These invoices will now be transferred to the ERP with a payment instruction to pay immediately according to the discount terms. The payment clerk has the tools available to execute a payment strategy, taking discounts when available. As the payment clerk has responsibility for executing the company's payment strategy, the CFO has the final responsibility for the process. Basware provides a dashboard of KPIs to help the CFO manage the complexities of the B2B process. Reporting in Alusta will be much more flexible and personal. Different users have different views. Accounts payable has their view, buyers see what's most valuable to them, etc. This particular CFO wants real-time visibility into payables, receivables, top categories of spend, and perhaps top customers by spend. This is the place where he would drill down from, be able to analyze cash flows by currency and date, where he could understand cash obligations and view various elements of supply chain financing as his company takes advantage of them. He also wants visibility into certain aspects of the process which have been deemed strategic, such as e-invoicing, whether they're sent or received. With the iPhone, the user has full access to review and approve invoices while on the go. This is great because it lets you handle the task of invoice approval at times when you couldn't otherwise be productive. All of these tasks are invoices. By opening one up, the invoice image appears and is easily manipulated. Then we can look at the basic data, the posting, and finally the history. After we are satisfied, we can approve the invoice, make a quick comment, and send it for payment. What could be simpler?